Cancer is not the end of everything. In fact, it is the beginning of something. Today's topic is a very important one, yet a very sensitive one too. Welcome to another episode on this channel. You might be wondering why I'm going to talk about a health condition. If you read the description of the channel, you will get to know that I'm a writer, and also this channel focuses on mental health and emotional balance. So, what is this phase and what it really tells us, what it teaches? All these things I would like to convey through my life experience. If you haven't watched the previous video, I had talked about the cancer diagnosis of my aunt and the two articles that got published in the book, Tiny Thoughts and Great Memories. So please watch this video because this can be considered as part one to this particular video. So this is part two. I'm not here to talk about the technical and the medical side of cancer because I'm not a medical person, I'm not an oncologist, I'm not a doctor also. But I feel life experiences can tell us a lot of things because when my family member was diagnosed with cancer, I'm not talking about my aunt. That's why I'm asking you to watch that video before coming to this video. So after the diagnosis of cancer, of my aunt, the health condition of my aunt, another family member, a very close person, was diagnosed with cancer. I don't want to give details of this because I have been talking about, even now, from the time it was diagnosed in December 2021, around that time. So before that, there was a surgery, and before that, a lump was discovered in the body. So I don't want to disclose and give a lot of details on it because I have been talking about this exactly as it is for a very long time, since the discovery of the health condition. And I have got two articles of mine published. So all the details are given there. And also I'm a part of Cancer Survivors of India. It's a group where we discuss, doctors are also there. We discuss about different health conditions. So I just thought of sharing certain points that could help you or someone whom you know is going through this phase. So as I told you, I'm not a medical person to give you all the technical side. Of course, you need to consult a doctor when you are going through this phase. And of course, you need to take the help of medical expertise and the MRI scan, the CT scan, whatever the doctor asks you to do. But I thought of sharing you these life experiences because real life experiences helped us as a family along with the doctor's advice. So I just felt that when a person who has undergone the phase talks to us and when they give us some highlights, I think that really helps people around. So I thought of sharing it with you as well. So as I told you in the beginning, it is the beginning of certain things and not the end, because this word cancer has got a lot of misconceptions and a lot of stigmas revolving it. And I didn't know about it till we experienced this phase as such, the emotional turmoil, the problems that we underwent discussing with the doctors, confusion, we were at crossroads regarding the treatment. All these things are there, and people who really go through it will understand. First of all, hats off to all the people who are fighting this phase along with the bystanders and the close relatives, because it's very difficult to watch your loved one in pain. If you experience the pain, okay, you know what is going on, but it's very difficult to watch your loved one in pain, and I totally understand that. So when my family member was was diagnosed with a lump, we were fortunate enough to take it to the doctor, to consult the doctor at that particular point of time without delaying further, because we felt something unusual. So whenever you discover something unusual in any part of your body, I think you need to consult a doctor without delaying it, because if it's stage 1 or stage 2, it's easily curable. So this type of cancer was that, where it was easily curable. I know that all types of cancer are not curable at the same time. Some of the types you cannot easily diagnose also until and unless you go for a scan, a deep scan and consultation. So fortunately, this is what happened with us. And the discovery was, I think, in the month of November, towards the end of November, and a lot of tests were done. We had a surgery after that. And that was a long phase where we had to consult a lot of doctors and decide on what is to be exactly done. And this is a time when the whole family, at least the close ones, will undergo an emotional turmoil. There'll be a lot of people coming and giving you suggestions, asking you to consult maybe 10 doctors. I'll tell you one thing from my experience. I'm going to give you different points. The first point is consultation. You may have a lot of family members coming and telling, my aunt, my grandfather, my so-and-so had gone through this phase. So this particular doctor, you consult with this doctor. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, we refer. We also what we do, we refer doctors, we give suggestions and advice. But it's always good for you to personally go and have a good communication with the doctor, ask about the whereabouts of the type of disease, whatever health condition it is, even if it's a cold. Okay? And if you take consultation from 2 or 3 doctors, it's fine. It's good to consult at least, more than one doctors, because that will give you an idea of what it exactly is and what could be done regarding. By the way, there are 2 words on the screen, diagnosis and prognosis. Diagnosis is the exact discovery and the finding out of the physical condition, the health problem in the body. Prognosis is the future sequence of treatment, the possibility of cure and things like that, connected with a health condition, connected with a medical condition. So we can refer the dictionary for more information. So the prognosis of certain types of cancer is unpredictable, and we can only talk about it once the patient takes up this therapy, the chemotherapy or the immunotherapy. There are different treatments, the radiation therapy, depending on the type. Now, my family member, I'm very careful about this because I'm talking about it on all the other platforms. We were careful enough to consult at least 3 doctors, experts, both in Tamil Nadu and in Kerala, and we got more or less the same suggestions from all the doctors. And one fortunate thing is it's a curable type, and another thing is you have to undergo chemotherapy. So there are different cycles for it, okay? You can refer the medical terms from a medical dictionary. When you consult a doctor, it is always good for you to go through the medical dictionary. Many doctors ask you not to refer the Google. That's because some of us don't have the habit of reading the complete article. Now, what happened to us is, what is biopsy? So once the tumor is removed, the unusual part is sent for biopsy, and we discovered that it is malignant, that it is cancerous. So the terms are whether it is malignant or benign. What is the meaning of benign? No harm. It is not cancerous. Malignant means it is cancerous. So we discovered that, and the report said that it is one type of cancer. Let's call it type A. There are only 2 types of cancer in this type. So they said it's type A. But then our oncologist, he's actually an expert, and he's from one of the well-known hospitals in Madurai, Meenakshi Mission Hospital. And this doctor said, let's send it once again for another test. And I think we had to wait for about 7 days. So he said, I think it's type A. I mean, it is type A as per the first report from the biopsy. But after 7 days, after conducting another test, we discovered that it's type B. So there was a big confusion because the treatment for either type is different. Okay, so it is not the same treatment for each type. And there was a big confusion. And the test had to be repeated, and you can imagine the kind of confusion and chaos that we were undergoing. And then the doctor said, when it was done for the second time, we got that it is type B. Now it had to be conducted for the 3rd time. It had to be repeated for the 3rd time. And the doctors discovered that it is a combination of type A and type B. And that is why there was a big confusion. So when the test was done in the first time, it was type A. Second time, type B. So what doctors do is type A the first time, type B the second time. So they repeat it again so that they can be sure about the treatment, because the patient is supposed to undergo the treatment as soon as possible at the earliest. And when they did it again, when they repeated the test again, they found out that it is a combination of type A and B. And you can say that the cancer cells were aggressive, but thank God it was just stage 2, but still aggressive, and it had almost spread to, you can say, some parts of the body, but not very dangerous though, fortunately, thank God. So that is about the consultation, where you need to trust a doctor and you need to zero down on the most trustworthy person. I'm not telling that oncologists are not trustworthy, but there will be a zone where you'll be comfortable with the doctor, where some doctors are open about the treatment and they give you the whereabouts of the type of cancer and what could go wrong and things like that. So you have to be comfortable with the doctor, and the nearest family members will have to have a very good rapport and communication with the doctor, because I was the one who was the bystander for the patient, and I had a good communication. I knew almost about the whereabouts of the type. I was able to understand what was going on and things like that. And of course I have got the habit of referring Google, but I do not leave it halfway. I read the article completely. Of course it leads to confusion. Some doctors say it leads to confusion because you're not a doctor, you're not a medical person, but it helped me. When our family went through this phase, it actually helped us and myself a lot. So if you are able to read the complete article, the article will be around 3 to 4 pages or sometimes 7 pages. So I told you about this particular period of time when the test was repeated for the third time, right? So there was this gap of almost 2 to 3 days when it was repeated for the third time just before the treatment. At that particular point of time, these articles, different articles published by Hopkins University and other universities, really helped me. That's what I was trying to tell you. That's the first point. Second point is emotional support and emotional strength is very important. See, our body has got this impeccable capacity and capability to recover and recoup from any physical ailment. But sometimes we rush into the conclusion even before allowing our bodies to recover, to understand the course of treatment, and also by giving the emotional support. So sometimes family members can be really discouraging. So we had a couple of family members who were not encouraging, who almost said that, okay, the person is going to die. And just imagine the situation. After one cycle of chemotherapy, the patient is coming and sitting in front of you, and you know the side effects of cancer. Many of them will have nauseating feeling. Many of them will lose their hair. I'm not talking about all these things to arouse sympathy. If a cancer patient is listening to me, no, it's not just to, trigger your sympathy and to feel sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about, because I have gone through this particular phase with the patient, and I'm coming to that point. I also had the opportunity of interacting with many cancer patients in the same ward, and also with the bystanders. We were able to understand what they were going through, and many of them had smiles on their face. Many of them who were fighting and who knew that I don't have many days on this planet Earth. Some of them were so strong that they came out of the phase with their willpower. So we had a couple of family members who pointed out at this particular patient, my family member, my close one who was diagnosed with cancer, looking at the person and saying, you are not going to live, or maybe this person is not going to live. All these kind of presumptions and misconceptions. So you can imagine the way the person feels. Already the person might be down, or maybe the person is having a lot of emotional strength, but the way people come and show faces and just sit in front of you as if everything is over, I don't think that's a good way. Most of the hospitals will have a positive way of dealing with this phase. And here I'm showing you the chemotherapy ward. Here it's like, it may look a bit dreary, but I should tell you that most of the staffs and everybody were so jovial. I don't want to mention the name of the particular hospital or the team of doctors because it's not a promotional video. I may do it later, but not now. But I should say that most of the departments will have jovial and happy group of people, always attending to your needs and always taking care of your emotional needs. So there are times when you become perplexed along with the patient, where you need to be positive, where you need to always be optimistic about what is going to happen in the future. And life is so unpredictable. Okay. So coming to this particular emotional strength, this is not something, see, if you have a very good group of people supporting you, you are lucky. Well and good. It's actually good when you have a very good system of people, support system of people giving you mental support even without you asking for it. So you're really fortunate when you have such a support system. I've heard of people having such a support system. But we had very less people like that, though we had a very few of them. But we relied completely on the doctor. We trusted the doctor, and it really proved that the whole course of treatment was useful for us. But we came across a lot of family members, very close family members. I'm a bit ashamed to talk about who exactly they are, because life is like that. I learned a lot. Even the cancer patient, along with me, understood what really life is and how strong we can be when we face such situations. There will be people telling you that you need to face it, but it's not easy. So many people will tell that you have to face it, there's nothing great about it, and there are a lot of people facing it. Yes, it's true. But what you need to remember is it's not easy. Everybody faces challenges, and this is not a phase where you need to give a lot of sympathy. If possible, empathize and try to do something. Give that emotional support and try to help that particular family in some way. Financial crisis will be there with a lot of people, but apart from that, I feel emotional strength is very important. Do not abuse, because when I had this opportunity of interacting with many cancer patients, sadly, unfortunately, I came across a lot of people who were abandoned by their own family members. Wives left by their husbands just because the person was undergoing stage 4 colon cancer. And I came across parents being abandoned by their children, children being neglected by their parents, people being physically and emotionally abused. And after interacting with such patients, I still remember the way they spoke to me during those days. It happened in the month of January and February, not very early, okay, in 2022. When I interacted with those people, I just thought of writing about it, and I had this great opportunity of writing and talking about it on different platforms. Even now I'm doing it with a few platforms. So this kind of awareness with real life experience is very important, because many people don't talk about it. And many people feel that, oh, this is something we shouldn't be talking about. Just like you can say sexual harassment, just like toxic parenting, just like emotional abuse, just like emotional breakdown, and such kind of things. So people started talking about it, and we took strength from each other, not because we went through the same problem. We had, as I told you, we had very less family members supporting us, giving us mental support. I'm not talking about the financial part, because thank God we did not face much problem during that time. But emotional support also is it's actually expensive these days. I understood it's priceless. Okay, so that's why I started working about this particular topic, and I had this wonderful opportunity of writing about it. So that's the second thing, emotional support. And the third point is there are a lot of stigmas revolving around this word. I came across a few patients who told me that their family members told them it's karma. You're facing this problem because you do not call God, or you're facing this problem because you harass so and so person. It's not like that. Then what about small children who are diagnosed with blood cancer? Yes, I came across such small children, small babies who are diagnosed with severe types of cancer. So we shouldn't be concluding and misguiding people around so that they don't get any support, or they don't get any kind of things, any kind of balance and equal treatment from the society. So these were the couple of highlights that I always wanted to share with you. And another point is, why am I talking about this? Because when you expose yourself to different topics, I am an author who have been writing about mental health and lifestyle topics, and I feel this is a very important topic. So because of that, that is my interest: psychology, mental health, physical condition, health conditions. That is how your language develops when you interact with people. Even if you don't interact, make sure that you read about it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you. And it's okay whatever people say and whatever people do to bring you down, because it's your ultimate goal to live and at least look up, look forward, look to the future, and see those smiling and positive days. I came across a lot of emails and a lot of people sending in emails saying that I'm so motivated and inspired by your talks. These are not scripted. As you can see, I don't script any of my videos, and that's why maybe I'm making a slip of tongue, or maybe I'm committing errors. I'm not bothered about that as long as it conveys the right idea. As I always talk about perfect English, there is nothing known as perfect English. But what I always wanted to tell you is life is like that. And do not aim to hurt anyone. Do not aim to abuse people, especially when they go through health condition. Even if you have your relative or any loved one, even if you don't like that person, if the person is undergoing a trauma, especially with emotional and physical condition, I think you should lend a helping hand, pat on their back, and say everything is going to be back on track, because that one smile, that one word can really bring about a big change. I saw that in the team of doctors, in the team of people who treat the patients. I didn't see sympathy there. It's more of how you support each other with a lot of confidence. And there are a lot of things that happen in this world. And it's so unfortunate and depressing to even listen to some college students and youngsters who come and tell me that I have been abused very badly on social media platforms. And sometimes I trust people, they fall into relationships, and they trust people, and they fall into all these kind of emotional abuse, where one day people just abandon. See, some people are like that. Okay, and we have to be careful. And even if people are careful, things will always happen in that way, because the world is really tough and it is very competitive. So what you should understand is every chapter of your life is either a lesson or it is a win. It's not that you're going to fail. Failures always lead to success. Thank you so much for staying with me, and stay positive. Bye bye.